Hey, good morning. So, it is about 8:40. I'm on my way to work. I was on YouTube last night. I'm on YouTube a lot, and there's one nurse that I listen to on there, and her name is Kathy, and I just stumbled across one of her YouTube um, recordings, and it was so interesting to me that she said she used to be an engineer and then she switched to becoming a nurse. And her story was just really similar to mine. She was an engineer for about 8 years, and she just wasn't content with it. Um, it just wasn't fulfilling to what she had hoped it would be. She was spending a lot of time in front of her desk, and there would be different presentations, and possibly vendors or staff members were bringing in donuts and bagels pretty consistently. And she said she was gaining a lot of weight, and she said she just really wanted a change. Mind you, she explains it a whole lot better than me. I'm just taking little segments of it that I can relate to. But for the fact that she did that for so long, and she was kind of set in the ways of that industry, she wanted to make sure that nursing would be a good fit for her. And so she took some prerequisite classes as opposed to just jumping right into the program. She also started volunteering at the hospital to get her foot in the door and see what it would be like to work in the field. I find this also super relatable because I quit my job at a cabinetry company and became a home care aide because I wanted to get some sort of exposure to working with patients and see what that would be like, to assist with ADLs, to assist with lifting, transferring, all of these sort of things, which are basic need to knows for any healthcare position. So, because I've got a little bit of backlash because I am a home care aide, which I honestly have the utmost respect for because it's not an easy job. It can be easy, but it's not always easy. You do have to deal, in some cases, with hospice patients, and you grow attached to them, and when they pass away, that's devastating. So there's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, I really respect her coming out and telling her story, because I come from architecture and design background, and hers is engineering, which essentially is like a cousin to architecture, and a second cousin to interior design. And I believe that her office dynamic probably was similar to my own. Um, she didn't mention this, but I know me personally, going through 3 different companies, all of which had their perks and benefits. And as well, she said that hers was very stable, had a great healthcare plan, but it just wasn't a good fit for either one of us. And for me, it wasn't a good fit because of the work dynamic as well. Like, I did like a lot of my coworkers, but upper management was difficult to deal with in all 3 of my design positions. And not to say that I won't run into that in the healthcare field, but at least I will be able to say I'm actually helping people. Whether the people like the help or not, I am actually able to provide that service, as opposed to design. yes, we were helping people, but it was so distant. Most times I didn't get to work directly with the client. A lot of times I was just on the computer for 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer, and it was more money motivated than anything else. Um, and it was different than like providing outreach, providing care, volunteering, doing some sort of ministry. It was entirely different. At the end of the day, you're drained and you don't necessarily understand why, because you don't really have that fulfillment. um, so yeah, I was just super excited to see that somebody had such a similar background to my own and just entirely shifted their career path. And the fact that she did it when her kids were teenagers is also very inspirational, because I was kind of struggling with that. One of mine is almost a teenager, the other two are toddlers, but it's still, with kids, it's difficult to make those sort of life transitions. Especially after I've gone to school for so long, and to essentially start back over, it's been harder to swallow. But there is hope out there. Thank you.